Hello friends, today we are doing something that I pretty much never do these days, and that is mood read. I feel like most of the time I pick my TBR, figure out what videos I'm going to do, and that's just how it's going to be. But over the last month I've been very busy with work because of just in life. I've been traveling, so I've been listening to quite a few audiobooks, and I'm kind of a little bit backed up at the moment with books that either are not available on Libby anytime soon or just not at all, books that I want to read physically. Books that I want, like the type of books that I don't really feel like listening to on audio. So I'm kind of like, well, what am I going to listen to while I work over the next week? Because everything that's for other videos that is available on Libby is about a 2-week wait still. And so I'm just like, what do I do with my time? What do I listen to? I don't want to like waste this time. And so I was like, Hannah, why don't you just mood read? I can just read what is available, maybe take advantage of the skip the line feature, just go to the available now section. And we're gonna spend this week's video, that today is Monday, we're gonna go Monday to Sunday and see what we mood read. I will definitely be reading other things during this week for other videos, and they will not be included in this. I may tell you that I read it just so you're aware. But primarily, we're just going to be mood reading, wherever the wind takes us, whatever we feel like reading. This has been a very romance book heavy summer for me, and I'm completely fine with that. I've kind of fallen out of love with thrillers. I've always said that thrillers are my favorite genre, and I'm learning that's not the case, that I think I'm more so like paranormal horror, but horror is kind of spooky sometimes because I can't do blood, so... And I've also just kind of had a very traumatic summer, so we've just been leaning into the silly, happy romances. So I think there's probably going to be quite a bit of those in this video, maybe continuing some series and just seeing where the wind takes us. Do I know where we're even going to start? No. But once I figure it out, I will tell you. Okay, guys, I decided I'm actually going to show this book in here because this is my book club book, and for a while I've been doing like spoiler filled book club videos, but they don't A, do very well, and B, I'm so far ahead on uploading videos that it wouldn't even upload till like mid to end September, so it just seems kind of pointless to then post about the summer book. So we're just going to talk about it here. This video also may not come out till then, but the point is this is what we are mood reading on my Kindie right now, is Till Summer Do Us Part. This was the book for the month of whatever this is, August, for my book club. I'm currently editing. I'm doing what I refer to as an editing palooza, where I just spend the whole rest of the day editing. But while my videos render, I like to read my book. And the video that I'm rendering right now is like an almost 3-hour vlog. It's like a 2-week vlog for my other YouTube channel. And it still says there's like an hour remaining in the rendering. So I am just going to read probably like 3 or 4 chapters of this. In the meantime, I have no idea what it's about. The prologue was great. I loved it. But the only person who's read it so far in book club is my friend Emily, and she gave it a 2. So I'm a little scared. Only Emily and I don't tend to agree on books. So maybe her not liking it will mean I love it. One can hope. Y'all, I've already decided that this is going to probably end up being like a 2-week mood reading vlog. Just going to be a mood read with me until I feel like being done with this video. You know what I mean? Because I have not read a lot this week, and I don't want to have like one book in this video. But I am 50% of the way through Till Summer Do Us Part by Meghan Quinn. This book having pictures in the physical one is really... It's really something else that I don't like. So this is about Wilder, which that name is horrible in my opinion, and Scotty. Scotty's the girl, Wilder's the guy. Basically, Scotty, I think I might have already described the beginning. I can't remember now. She basically lied about being married, and she then kind of gets roped into needing a fake husband to go to fake therapy with, and now they're at this couples retreat. Okay, that's like the TLDR, because I will say this book, I'm already like, this could be 100 pages shorter. I don't think that this needs to be 438 pages because it's not slow burn. So like, if it's not slow burn, we don't need this many pages. But I know it's kind of like Meghan Quinn's things. Her books are kind of long. I'm not enjoying it. Like right now it's probably a 4-star. My friend Emily gave it a 2-star because of how unethical it is, which she is like a psychologist and a therapist. So like I can see her not being okay with this, because basically Scotty's boss is like, yeah, like my husband's a therapist. I don't think I talked to you guys about this. So Scotty works at like in marketing or something for like a golf company, and she works with a bunch of Brads and Chads, and they kind of are all like married and like happily married, and she is unfortunately divorced, and so being around all these married people kind of grinds her gears a little bit because she's bitter. And she says that. She's like, I'm jealous. It is what it is. And so one day everybody's talking about all of the like romantic things they're going to be doing with their significant others over the weekend. And they're like, what about you, Scotty? What are you doing? Basically trying to like throw it in her face that she's single. And she lies and says that her and her husband are going antiquing. And everybody's kind of like pulling her chain, like, oh, you're not married, you're not wearing a ring, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, yeah, well, we've been going through like a rough patch. We're trying to work on things, like trying to make them feel bad for like being rude to her. And then her boss, Ellison, pulls her to the side into a separate room and is like, oh my god, yeah, like my husband's like this world-renowned 100% success rate marriage counselor, like he would be totally willing to talk to you guys, and so like, can you do tomorrow at 9 a.m? So she's telling her friends about this. She's like, how do I find a fake husband by tomorrow morning? And her friend Mika, he is a gay man, says, oh my god, my brother would totally do it. So his brother Wilder is 2 years younger than her. She's 29 and Wilder's 27. They talk about it all the time. I don't really know why. It's not like that big of a deal or big of an age difference, but whatever. He is retired because he made a soda tracker app. He's a Diet Coke girly. He's a Coke girly. We love him. But he made this app that he sold, and so now he's like super rich, and he's just like bored as shit with his life and just loves to do like new things. So he's like, sounds wild. Absolutely, I'm in. He agrees to go to counseling with her. They meet like 3 minutes before. They have this wild counseling session. And then the counselor's like, well, I run this like marriage retreat like every summer. Do you want to go? It's $15,000 to go. And they're like, and Wilder's like, yeah, we'll come. We'll absolutely be there. And she's like, well, I don't know if I can get the time off of work. And he's like, oh yeah, my wife just lets people have this time off. No worries. No worries at all. So they go to this retreat, and it's freaking wild. Like, they fill out a survey, and they end up in like this like sex dungeon type of room, like just pictures of nipples on the wall and wieners over here and sex toys everywhere, handcuffs on the bed, which is like whatever. But she's very like prude and like, oh my god, what is this? Get rid of it. I'm scared. Whatever. And so now they're at this marriage retreat, having to continue pretending that their relationship is real, while Scotty is working through actual feelings that she has about the loss of her marriage. So that's basically where we're at. I did get to the 50% mark yesterday. The chapter's entirely too long, I will say. They are sharing a bed. It's fake dating. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm on page 217, chapter 17. So this is where we are, and it's like feeling like a 4 as of right now, but it does feel too long, baby. But I am listening to an audiobook right now, but whenever I finish that audiobook, I am going to be listening to the audio for Ruthless Vows. So that is also on the docket for probably today. I have a lot of work to do, so it's gonna be a work heavy day, so let's go. Okay guys, I feel like I literally can't say anything about this book because anything I say literally spoils the ending of book 1. Like, this book picks up where book 1 ends, so like I can't really tell you anything about the plot, but I will tell you that I'm not really enjoying it. Book 1 was about 340 pages, and it felt perfectly paced for a YA fantasy, fantastical, magical, romance story. Like, it felt, book 1 felt so well paced. There was never a part that I felt bored or like I didn't care what was going on. This whole book has felt like I don't care what's going on. Like, I don't care about Roman. I do not care about Iris. I do not care about anything that's happening. Everything is boring me actually to death, and it just has so far felt so repetitive that I'm just like, ugh, it's painful. Am I gonna get through it? Yes, but right now it's like a 2, if I'm being honest. I just started part 3, Wings in a Cage. So I am not liking this. I'm really not liking it. I don't think I'm having a good time, and I don't think it's gonna get a good writing? Okay, we have two books completed, and then I'm going to tell you guys what we're going to get into now. So first, I did finish Ruthless Vows. I gave this 3 stars. I just like, I think I talked to you guys about how like I just thought the pacing of this, it just felt so boring. And it was so boring. And I was reading this alongside someone else, and she also said the exact same thing. She's like, I'm just like really bored. And then at like 80%, it started to get interesting, but the first like 20% I was like, okay, yeah, like this is a 3 star. And then the whole middle I'm like, maybe it's a 2 star because I'm painfully bored. And then the ending was pretty good, so I was like, okay, it's a 3 star. But again, I don't want to say really anything because, again, the beginning of this book is a spoiler for book 1. So we did finish that. And then we have a 4-star read. We do have Till Summer Do Us Part. I already pretty much explained what this was all about, but it just like proceeded to be absolutely wild. Some of the things that what go down. And again, my friend Emily hated this book because she said it was so unethical, and like it is very unethical. That is, it just gets more and more unethical as you read it. But I just kind of read it for what it was, and it was a silly fun time, and I had fun reading it. I laughed out loud, so I gave it 4 stars. I quite enjoyed it. Then next up, I have the audio for Love in Focus by Lyla Lee. This is another sapphic romance. This was an Afterlight exclusive pick. This has like pretty bad rating on Goodreads. It has like a 3.5, which to me is like kind of a bad rating. Personally, I don't think that a 3.5 is very good, but I'm hoping I like it because Flirting Lessons also was like a sapphic book that was a, what's this called, Afterlight exclusive that has a pretty bad rating, and I gave it a 4. So there's hope. I don't really know what this is about, just that it's about Gemma and Celeste and their exes. I think it's a second chance romance. They like broke their one broke the other's heart in college. So that's the plan for today, the first things first plan. I also have a skip the line copy of Nora Goes Off Script, so that might be what I listen to after this, but I might switch to my ARC video after I finish this. But this has like a lot of people waiting for it, so and I've been really trying to like make sure I'm reading my Afterlight books. So we're gonna go read that. I'll check in with you guys later. I can't tell, but I'm about 60% of the way. I think 60 is what this is. I'm like in the middle of chapter 23, so we'll find chapter 23, literally right here. I'm about here in the book, and I'm actually quite liking this. I do like, this is Celeste and this is Gemma. So basically they're both Korean, and Celeste is a lesbian and Gemma is bi. They were roommates in college, and that's when Gemma realized that she was bi because she like was super interested in Celeste. Whatever, that's kind of like their backstory. They dated in college, and then Celeste went back home to Korea and they broke up, and it really hurt Gemma. She blocked her on all social media, and they really haven't seen each other since. Fast forward, Celeste is a photographer and Gemma works as like an editor for a magazine. And Gemma, the reason I keep looking at the cover is because I've recently realized that I am on the spectrum of people who can't visualize, so I love when books have pictures of the characters because it really helps me while reading. But basically, Gemma was dating this guy for 7 years. They worked together. They work at the same place. They don't like work with each other, but they work for the same company, and they were engaged, and he recently dumped her and has already moved on. Like just a couple of weeks later, she found him, like she walked in on him like hooking up with somebody else at work, and it's this whole situation. So their company, the magazine, is working on this article. And first off, because I have the fancy version, how cute is this? This is literally like, it looks like the girls on the magazine. Oh my god. But this is kind of like a make it or break it situation because magazines aren't super like doing great, so they need this thing that they're working on to go great, which is this new article about relationships and different relationships, interviewing people, and Gemma is interviewing them while Celeste is taking kind of candid photos of them, and it's like this whole thing that they're having to work together after all of these years apart. There's lots of talk about like yummy Korean food and making food for each other, which is super making me starving. And yeah, it's super cute. I'm really liking them. Second chance romance can sometimes be like hard depending on like why they broke up, but we find out the reasons why Celeste left and went back home to Korea, and I do think they were decent reasons, so I'm not super like against them getting back together. And I'm really liking them so far. They are having a hard time being with each other and like trying to turn off those feelings for each other while keeping things professional. And where I'm at right now is the holiday Christmas party, and Gemma's ex-fiance doesn't want her to go so that he can come with his new girlfriend and not feel awkward. And so she has Celeste come with her, and oh, it's such a fuck you moment. I love it. I love it. I love it. But so far it's feeling like a 4. I'm quite enjoying it. It's just a cute, fun time. Can't complain, really. Okay, guys, we have finished Nora Goes Off Script. I did not come in halfway because, again, it was really quick. So basically in this book, we have our main character, Nora, and she has gotten divorced. She has 2 kids. Names already don't exist in my head. The girl's name was Bernadette, her daughter. She had 2 kids. Bernadette... Arthur. Bernadette and Arthur are the 2 kids. And Ben is her ex-husband, and Leo is the love interest in this. So basically, Nora is a screenwriter, and she writes kind of like a lot of Lifetime Hallmark type movies. And she's recently wrote this movie that's essentially her story of like what happened with her marriage and her divorce. Ben is her husband. That's who she got divorced from. He kind of just up and left his family, but she like didn't really care because she didn't really care about him. So then we have Leo and like this whole film production are coming to her house to film this movie of her life. And Leo like kind of doesn't want to leave. He asks her if he can stay because he kind of just wants, he's like sick of the limelight and he wants just to live a couple of normal weeks. Him and Nora kind of fall in love, but then he has to go to LA for a new movie and doesn't come back. And it's very emo and she's very sad about it, and it's like a whole thing. But I did really like it, and she starts to write like a screenplay about their relationship. But I really enjoyed this. I'm going to give it 4 stars. Happy to have read it. This is my second Annabel Monaghan. The other one I read was Same Time Next Summer. I think I actually liked Same Time Next Summer better. It has more tropes that I like. It has childhood friends to lovers, second chance romance, which is more my vibe than the vibes of this. But regardless, it was good, and I'm happy about it. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna listen to anything else. If not, I will let you know, and if we do, I will also let you know. Okay, as mentioned, we're doing this actually for 2 weeks. Mood read with me for 2 weeks, and I have a bunch, mainly because I think I have like 2 scheduled continuing series video, and I've just been in my continuing series era. I looked at my, you can see this bookshelf there, that's all of my series, and I'm trying to get caught up before I start new ones. And I just got the Libby hold for Wild and Wrangled, and this will completely close out a series, and I think this is Camille's story, and I love Camille, so I'm very excited about this. But I'm getting so caught up on my series and it feels amazing, but I don't want to film another continuing series video because I feel like I've filmed way too many of them, but that's truly where I've been mentally. But like, oh my god, that hurt. But continuing the series is pretty much me mood reading currently because that's what I'm in the mood for. So this is going to be Dusty and Camille's story, and I'm so ready for it. I love this series, and this will be finishing just in time. You guys will be seeing this after it already comes out, but I'm pretty sure Lyla Sage's new book, like book 1 of a new series, comes out on my birthday, so September 9th, and I'm very excited about that. So let's get into Wild and Wrangled. So far, my favorite book is, I think, my order, I think, goes book 2, book 3, book 1 as like my order. Book 1's the only one I have not given 5 stars, but we'll see how this one goes, and I'm ready to go, baby. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, guys, we are gonna be listening to Christmas Tree Farm. That's like next up on the agenda for this mood reading video. Okay, I finished the audio for this. It was a super short audio. I think it was only like 8 or 9 hours, and I listened to it on 3 times speed. And I had about 40 minutes left in the audiobook, so like less than 20 minutes of listening time left by the time I got done doing everything I wanted to do. So I literally just sat here and listened to the rest of it, and it is done. This is about Kira and Bennett. Bennett is Jeannie, I believe, from book 1's brother. And he kind of has been living in California, and he's back in Dream Harbor for the holiday season. And the reason he moved out west was for a girlfriend. And he doesn't really like it there, but he doesn't want people to like judge him for like moving out there for a girl. So he's just kind of like making it work. Kira, she basically buys this Christmas tree farm. She's like very rich, comes from a very rich family. She hates Christmas. She didn't mean to buy a Christmas tree farm. She thought she was buying like a regular farm and was going to try to like be like a homesteader and make pickles and all this nonsense. But she basically comes from this really rich family where her parents don't approve of anything that she does, and her twin sister Chloe recently moved to Denmark, and she feels kind of lost with no direction on her own for the first time. So she moves to Dream Harbor to try to like make it all work. She's very standoffish and kind of is making enemies with the townsfolk until she realizes maybe it would just be better if she was nice to people. So we finished it. I gave it 4 stars. This is my favorite of the Dream Harbor series so far, and it may seem kind of odd to read this Christmas book in the middle of August, but I kind of loved it. I love Christmas, but it was super fun to read this. And yeah, I think my order of how I like them is this one's first, then the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and then the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore is my least favorite. Just with the tropes in that one, it was super duper spicy. There was like more spice in this than I would like, but not nearly as much as in the bookshop one. So I think then the only one left that's currently out that we have to read is the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. That title, obnoxious, but I did think this was really cute. There's lots of doggos in it as well. One of the dog's names was Elizabeth, and I just thought that was absolutely hilarious. What are we going to listen to next in this video? That's a very good question. I have quite a bit of things available on Libby. One of them, I do have a Skip the Line copy, but the Skip the Line, you know what, I'm just returning it because I don't think I really want to listen to that right now, because I'm really trying to continue on in my journey of these series. So I think I'll go with the shortest one. It's also due the soonest. There's 2 that are due in 10 days. We'll probably end up listening to them both. Let's just be so for real. But I think next up we will go with this, which is the final book in the Well Met series by DeLuca. So this, I think, is going to be our next up in this video, where we're doing it all. We're doing the damn thing. And then the other things that I currently have available on audio are, we have Business Casual, which is the last book in the Love Light Farm series. So if we finish Well Met, that'll finish a series. If we finish Business Casual, that'll finish a series. And we have The Temporary Roomie by Sarah Adams, which will also finish a duology. Wouldn't that be incredible? And then we did just also finish Wild and Wrangled, which was finishing the Rebel Blue Ranch. We're killing it. And then I did just get my loan for Beneath the Stars by Emily McIntyre, which I'm very excited about. It's this book. I honestly have no idea what this one's even really about. I bought the whole series just based on the fact that I liked the vibes. But these are kind of long, however, it's kind of interesting because this book is this big, right? And this book is this big. Clearly, really big difference. This one's like 450 pages. This one's like 370 pages. Why are the audiobooks both the same length? That doesn't really like overly make sense to me, but that's what it says. But I want to get all of those other 3 finished before we start a new series, you know what I mean? Because I just feel like it's probably for the best to finish some stuff out before starting anything new. Other series that I'm still in the middle of that I do need to finish, that I have started, is I've read Savor It, so I could read Left of Forever. I have read Flawless, so I have the rest of the Chestnut Springs series. I read Delilah Green Doesn't Care, so I have the rest of that series to finish. I'm releasing 10, which I'm going to wait to do the audio for. That one, we're going by things that I have started that aren't those ones. The final book in the Dream Harbor series that's currently out, Mr. Fixer-Upper by Lucy Score, because I read the Christmas Fix before that one, because I'm silly. We have 3 books left in the Windy City series. 4 books left in the Cherry Tree Harbor series. I think I'm caught up on everything. The Joanne Fluke books, those aren't really counting. I'm not really counting those as like a series I'm in the middle of because those are like their own separate situation. So that's a pretty good, I would say. Then I have plenty of series that I have not started. Let's just be so for real with you right now. But yeah, I'm loving being able to be more caught up on these things so that I'm not forgetting in between. But I'm gonna go, also, I was gonna put this in its own separate video, but I just want to be able to read it and not focus on having to film really anything for it. Because I am currently in the middle, I'm on page 17 of a reread and I'm annotating. This is my favorite book of all time, The Measure by Nikki Erlick. I do have like the pretty special edition one. So since I have that pretty edition, I was like, I'm just gonna beat the shit out of this one and like highlight, write in it, tab it on up, do the whole 9 yards with this one. Also going to grab some of these. My bestie girl Andrea has a sticker shop and she has these like annotating faces. So I would like to find some color. One of the color schemes hopefully will match this book in some way, shape, or form. Or like I can grab 2 sheets. There's not one that perfectly matches it. Like this has the yellow, golden yellows. And then I would just need like a dark blue. There we go. And this one has the dark blue. So just in case I want to use those while I'm annotating. So that's probably, I'm gonna listen to some of Well Traveled later while I'm doing some meal prep. Otherwise, I will be reading this physically. It's currently 4 o'clock. I have to do some editing, some meal prep. I don't know how much physical reading I'm gonna do today. I need to get the laundry put away. So it's like a lot of tasks that need to get done today that I can listen to audio while I'm doing it. So we will see what we get done. But this clip is very long, so I'm gonna go. Okay, friends, we are about to get started on my meal prep. Well, we are already getting started on my meal prep for the week, which I'm prepping quesadillas for my husband and I'm starting with his quesadillas. I'm making vegetarian for mine, but I am making ground beef for his, so I am going to start by making the ground beef with taco seasoning, and then I'm just going to whip up some quesadillas while I listen to Well Met. So let us enjoy. I finished my reread of The Measure. She's all tabbed up now. And I've just been spending the last 20 minutes sobbing. If you have not read this book, read it. Just read it. And like I said, as somebody who's experienced a lot of loss in their life, and I've lost a lot of people that were like 50 or younger, and it's just, this book, it really makes you think. There's this, I don't know if I even talked about it. Basically, this is a dystopian book where one day everybody over the age of 22 or older gets a box that says like, like this measures like your life or something to that effect. And in it is a string, and everybody's string is a different length. And as you get old, like as time goes on, science catches up and they figure out like how to use the measurement of the string to indicate how long people have left to live. And it just like, you follow these 8 different characters and their different stories. We have 2 halves of a couple, Nina and Nora. One of them is a short stringer, one of them is a long stringer. We have Ben, who he is a short stringer, but he didn't choose to look at his string. Somebody looked at it for him. We have Amy, who doesn't want to look at her string, who is also Nina's sister. We have got Anthony, who's like a corrupt politician. We have got his nephew Jack and Jack's friend Javier. The 2 of them are both in the military. Then we have Hank, who's a doctor. And we're seeing like all these different things, but there's this one part that's like basically talking about like dating and marriage and how that's working, and how like before the strings people would date and get married till death do us part, in sickness and in health, not knowing what was gonna happen. And like my parents got divorced. My mom died when she was 48 years old. She would be a short stringer. And the way that like I know, and like there's this part, I mean I've highlighted so much in this book I can't probably really find it, but there is this sentiment that like, here it is. Would you date a short stringer? Yeah, I would date them. So maybe you would date a short stringer, but would you marry them? Honestly, I don't know. I'm sure it would be different if I were already in love with the person. I mean, you guys don't want kids, but I think I do, so it wouldn't be about me. I'd knowingly be putting my family through a horrible loss, choosing to give them a future without their father. And it's something that's so hard to like think about, but like I know, like, and it's as a child of a short stringer, like if that decision was made, like I wouldn't exist. But like I just know so deeply in my heart that even if like this was the world they lived in, my dad and mom still would have gotten married. Well, they technically got married before they were 21, but even with the knowledge, they would have, my dad still would have married her. Like, it's just, it's such a good one. But we're gonna continue listening to this now. Happier vibes. Happier vibes indeed. At this point, I don't even know what videos were in, what books were in this video, or I'm just kind of lost if I'm being honest with you. So these are going to be the last 2 books that we read in this video. I've just decided that. I am most of the way through the audio for Well Traveled. So this is the last book in the Well Met series, and in this book we have Lulu, which is Mitch from the book prior to this. Mitch has been in all of the books. But the book prior to this was Mitch's book. And in Mitch's book, we meet his cousin Lulu. So Lulu is a lawyer, and she basically is kind of sick of working in this boys club where she's not respected, she's not taken seriously. Year after year, she's told that like she's next in line for this big promotion, and she keeps getting passed up for men. And she's sick of it. So she basically quits her job and decides she's going to start traveling with this band for this Ren Fair. Obviously, more goes into it than that. And she's kind of finding her place, finding her way in this world. And it's very, like, one thing I love about this series as somebody who's, by the time you guys see this, I think my birthday will have already passed. So for somebody who's 30, it's nice reading books about characters in their 30s. Don't get me wrong, I read lots of books about characters that are barely 20 years old. But it is nice to read about characters that are more in my age range. But she's trying to figure out her life, and she, like, they're trying to give her, like, kind of odds and ends jobs helping out at the fair. And so she starts working at, like, the turkey leg booth, and she kind of hates doing that job because she just smells like turkey leg the whole time. And one of the guys in the band's name is Dex. He's kind of like the playboy. We meet him, I believe, in book 2 is when we originally met Dex. And really got a lot of his character, but he's kind of like the playboy, and he's taking like a lot of time out to just kind of like hang out with her, and she thinks it's kind of odd, whatever. And so the part that I'm at right now is super fun. She's really like finding her way with this fair and figuring out what she wants to do. And she's just recently got a job as kind of like being the receptionist essentially for the like psychics, like the tarot card readers, the crystal ball, palm reading. And she doesn't believe in any of it, but she just bought her first like personal deck of tarot cards after getting a reading, and I just think it's so fun. It's probably gonna be 4 stars. I'm really enjoying it. And then on my Kindle, which the cover on my Kindle I've got to show you is alarming. It's a jump scare. Whenever I see people read books that have this type of a cover, because this is the cover I have, has cute sprayed edges, and this is the cover on my Kindle. Whenever I see those scary covers, I'm like, wow, that's really brave. And so, yeah, this is the cover that I have. This is book 2 in the Cherry Tree Harbor series by Melanie Harlow. Book 1 was Runaway Love, which I gave 4 stars. And it's super weird. I listened to that one on audio and now on Libby. And the library that I got the audio from no longer has it and doesn't have the rest of the series and is not available. I have like 6 different libraries on Libby. None of them have the audio. So, we're going to read this one. And I am excited. This is an enemies to lovers, forced proximity, small town rom-com. I don't love enemies to lovers because to me, I'm a world-class grudge holder. It's in my genes. I'm actually the least grudge holdery out of my family, but I'm assuming, I also prefer when she is grumpy and or I guess I'm thinking Grumpy Sunshine. If he's too, like, if they like hate each other too much, I personally will never get over it. It's the same with Grumpy Sunshine. If he's too mean to her, I'll never get over it. But this says, all I wanted was a break. 2 weeks off from being Pixie Heart, country music sensation, and 14 days of peace and privacy and solitude as plain old Kelly Jo Sullivan. But thanks to some overzealous paparazzi, my family refuses to let me go anywhere alone, and I'm stuck sharing a tiny cabin with a tall, dark, and bearded bodyguard. Oh boy, it's a bodyguard romance. I don't really like bodyguard romances from what I've read, which I think the only one I've really read is the second Twisted book by Anna Huang. I did not really like that, but whatever. And guess what? There is only one bed. Well, he can couch it. Xander Buckley might be hotter than a stolen blowtorch, and I get that he's a former Navy SEAL and all, but the man gives new meaning to the words overbearing, overprotective, bossy alpha male. I can't even post a photo on social media without him warning me it's not safe, or take a morning jog without him following behind. But he's made it clear that what he says goes, and if I don't like it, I can kiss my vacation goodbye. Instead, I end up kissing him. I don't even know what to expect. 1 minute we're at each other's throats, and the next we're at each other's mercy. What's even more shocking is how good we are together. He understands my need for freedom, and I understand his need for control. But emotional trust, it doesn't come easily to me, and we're on 2 completely different paths. Without question, I'd put my life in his hands. Just don't ask me to give him my heart. I'm gonna just check really quick the names of the characters from book 1. Book 1 was a runaway, it's called Runaway Love. This is book 1, and it's a runaway bride nanny age gap romance. So this was about Veronica and Austin. And he had like twins. So just so I can like keep an eye out for those names and those characters. It's another reason I've been trying to stay up to date on my series, is so that I can actually connect the pieces. But it's currently 7:30, and Kayla from Books and Lala is doing a live show. I'm like a channel member, and she's doing that at about 8. So I'm gonna read for about 30 minutes and go from there. And like I said, I will finish Well Traveled tomorrow at some point. I don't think I have a ton left. Let me check. Let me checky poo-poo pants. Yeah, I have an hour and 10 minutes left in the audio for that, so we'll probably listen to that tomorrow. I'm gonna be making like queso for our game night tomorrow. Actually, I'll probably finish that way before that. I'll probably finish it while I'm working tomorrow. So, actually, I'm taking tomorrow off. I think I want to get the game on the Switch that's like the tiny bookshop game. Maybe play that and listen to the book tomorrow. That's a possibility. And then I'm leaving ya. Okay, so this is about Austin from book 1's brother. We got that info, which I'm very excited about. Also, I track in my book journal like locations of like where books take place, and when I looked up where the first book takes place, it just said Cherry Tree Harbor. It's like fictional, blah blah blah, and it never states where it is. This literally says Cherry Tree Harbor, Michigan in book 2. So it's Michigan, but I'm gonna go read in peace now. Okay, this mood reading vlog, I am gonna finish this book today. I am at like 65%. I stayed up last night till like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I should have just finished it honestly, because I was it was like only still have an hour and a half left on my Kindle. I should have just stayed up, but I'm actually really loving this. It's giving probably like 4.25 star energy right now. For me, there is way too much spice, therefore it's just never going to be a 5. But I think that this series is very underrated. Like, I don't hear anybody talk about it. It's called the Cherry Tree Harbor series. But in this, we have our female character. Her name's Kelly. And then we have our male character named Xander. Also, the amount of Xanders, like Xaviers, like boy names that start with an X, Zayden. Sometimes that's with it. Some of these are also with a Z sometimes, but those types of names, I don't know anybody in real life with them, but the amount of book people with them, infinite. But anywho, so we have got Kelly and Xander. And Kelly is a pop star, or no, she's a country star who goes by Pixie Heart, but she kind of just wants like a 2-week vacation to just be Kelly Jo Sullivan. And through this, we're learning that whenever she signed on to a record label, they wanted her to use a different name. They wanted her to only do certain songs. Like, she barely writes any of her own music because they don't like the songs that she writes. And she felt with going into the industry that she kind of just had to be like, yes and yep, do whatever people wanted to be successful. But now that she is successful, she kind of resents some of these things, so she just wants some time off. She recently fired her security team because she learned there was a breach in her security. And so she has a brother and her mom and her dad. She has a very horrible relationship with her dad. He has a lot of issues with gambling and drinking and using Kelly for her money and making her feel like she owes him because he got her into music. He sucks. I hate him. And her mom kind of like indulges his bad behavior, so I kind of don't like her either. And then Kelly has a brother, Kevin, and Kevin is our male main character, Xander's best friend. They were in the military together, and his best friend Kevin saved his life. So when Kevin calls up Xander and asks him to basically do private security for his sister while she is on vacation for 2 weeks in the town over from Cherry Tree Harbor. He's like, yup, I owe you a favor. I owe you my life. You saved my life. I will do it. He shows up. Kelly does not want him there. She's like, I don't want security, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, okay, well, like, I promised your brother I would do this. She's like, well, whatever he's paying you, I'll double. And she's like, he's not paying me. I'm doing this to him as a favor, and I'm not leaving. Like, I'll sleep outside if I have to. And she's like, okay, well, you do have to. And eventually she lets him sleep in the, what's it called? In the house, like on the couch, and they're slowly starting to open up to each other, and she's like loving being included in the small town things. He's working on opening a bar. She's like, oh, I want to go see it. He's like, yeah, like talking about like his family. He says, yeah, I have like a niece and a nephew. And he's like, yeah, my niece is actually a really big fan of you. And she's like, oh my god, I want to meet her. And he's like, well, they did invite us to this barbecue. And she's like, let's go. I never get to go to backyard barbecues. Love this. So far I'm really liking it, but in the 60%, there's probably been like 6 or 7 spice scenes that I'm just at this point like rolling my eyes at. But overall, I am enjoying this, and we're probably going to end this video off with a 4-star, which I'm very happy for. And the cameras, our main male character is Xander. He does like hobby photography, so that's why there's cameras. And yeah, that's where we're at, and I'm really liking it. I'm here with a finale of this book and the finale of this video. And we're ending on a bang, because I think I told you guys I was leaning towards a 4-star with this one. Well, I simply had to give it 5 stars. There's actually less spice in the second half of the book, which is kind of crazy. Kind of crazy, if you ask me. But was this spicier than I want? Yes. But it's a 5-star. I don't know. You know, as they say, 5 stars is a feeling. Okay? All day long I was thinking about how I wanted to get back to reading this book. Like, it's literally all I could think about all day. And then I was trying to wait to read it till like later, because I know I don't want to start like another book today. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna read this tonight, ... And I mean, it is night, it's 8:30, but I was gonna read it like after my husband went to sleep. But I literally couldn't focus on anything this afternoon, anything I was trying to do, because all I could think about was how I wanted to read this book. And the epilogue, I'm an epilogue hater. I hate an epilogue. I think they're stupid. I think they're horrible. I've removed an entire star from a book because of the epilogue before, and the epilogue made me cry, so I simply had to give it 5 stars, and it was so good. I don't really like celebrity romances. I don't like rich people romances. I don't like bodyguard romances. I don't like super spicy books, but here we are. I loved it. This book has like 20,000 reviews on Goodreads, but I don't hear anybody talk about this series, like small town romance series, and I feel like the Cherry Tree Harbor series simply needs to be talked about more. I'm not going to read the next book immediately, but I do want to just peek at who it's about. Okay, it's about the brother Devlin, who is an actor who lives in California. And he's trying, they like mention it in the other book that he's trying to like buy this person's property, and they don't want to like sell it to him. So, and they kind of like introduced who the girl was going to be. Listen. I'm so glad we ended this mood reading video on a high with a 5-star, and I feel like this video is really long. So that's going to be everything, guys. I will talk to you later. Bye!